Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Manakim bin Rizam, and today I will show the Excel assignment. So let's go through the question first. So, question 1. Ahmed and Sarah are purchasing their first property and have secured a specialized first-time home buyer financing package, which is structured to ease their cash flow with reduced payment obligations during the initial years. A principal amount of 300,000 ringgit has been borrowed for a total tenure of 30 years. During the initial 6 months period, the borrowers are granted a repayment holiday through interest will continue to accumulate on the outstanding balance. From the 7th month until the completion of the 3rd year, they are required to service only the interest portions. After the end of the 3rd year until the end of the financing tenure, equal monthly installment will commence and the entire debt is fully settled by the end of the 30 years term. Every installment is payable on a monthly basis in arrears, with interest calculated at an effective rate of 4.5% per annum. So the first question asks to calculate the amount of monthly installment without using automated tools such as Solver or Goal Seek. So let's go through the My Excel file. As you can see here, we have 3 tabs. The first one is inputs, where we put all the information that we get from the question. The second tab is loan amortization, and the second one is the loan amortization, and the last one is the capital budgeting for question 2. And let's put all the information that we get from the question 1. As we know that the loan principal is 300 ringgit. The period is 30 years, and the interest is 4.5% as stated in the question. Repayment holiday period is what the question mentioned as 6 months period, initial 6 month period, which is where the borrower are granted a repayment holiday, means they are not required to pay the monthly installment for 6 months, for the initial 6 months. So the total deferred months we get here is 36 months. And as you guys can see here, we get the standard monthly installment that are calculated automatically. Here is 1,620 ringgit 83 cent. If we take a look at the second tab, loan amortization, we have all the table as down as 360 months, which is where the last month that the Amir and Farah should be paid. For the 30 years period, for 300,000 ringgit principal amount. So this is for question 1. For question 2, we need to construct the loan amortization schedule to show the financing arrangement. I've already shown to you guys the loan amortization schedule table. Here we got 360 months total period, total schedule, and as you guys can see here, there is no installment should be paid at the initial 6 months period. So let's go through to the third question. for the question 1. Under the terms of this Islamic or conventional banking agreement, the homeowner are allowed to make additional repayments to accelerate their debt clearance and shorten their financing period. These extra payments are limited to a single transaction per year, starting from the second year onwards. Furthermore, each annual repayment is capped at maximum of 10% of the outstanding capital amount calculated at the beginning of each year of payment. The original structure of the monthly amortization schedule for the first 3 years remain unchanged, but the term of the loan will reduce. Aiming to achieve full financial freedom as early as possible, Amir and Farah intend to maximize these repayments to comprise their loan duration, evaluate and find the minimum possible financing term they can be achieved through this strategy. As you guys can see here, I've already made the column extra payment starts. As you can see here, as this question state, extra payments are starting from the second year onwards. So we put the 2 years indicating the starting of the second years onward, and the maximum annual repayment is capped at 10%. So we put here, the value here is 10%. And but the tricky one is the original structure of the monthly amortization schedule for the first 3 years remain unchanged. So let's take a look at our schedule. The first 3 months, the first 3 years must be unchanged. The installment payment. As you can see here, until the month of 36, the payment remain unchanged. But on the starting from the 38 months of 37, the extra payments are started, and as we go through, as we go down through, the payment are ended at the month of 164. That is the minimum financing, the minimum possible financing that both Amir and Sarah can make. So let's go through to the question 2. Question 2, a Malaysian corporation is currently evaluating 2 competing capital investment proposals, Project Seri and Project Bakavali. The board of directors must determine which of these 2 projects the company should fund. The projected year-end net cash inflow and outflow for both options are detailed in a Excel worksheet that are given. So the first question is, calculate the interest rate of return IRR for both project and Project Bakavali. So in the tab, in the input tab here, I've already copy paste all the cash flow for both Project Seri and Project Bakavali. So at the capital budgeting, I automatically take all the data from inputs, put it in this capital budgeting tab automatically using the coding, using the formula. So the IRR here is that we get for Seri is 9.18%, and the IRR for Bakavali project is 9.64%. So the next question is, the corporation has established an internal target for the rate of return at 4.5% effective per annum for its investment. Calculate the net present value NPV of the projected cash flow for each project utilizing the target of return. So the NPV here is the sum of Project Seri PV, and is the sum of all project PV, project study PV from year 1 until year 25. But how we get the amount for each year is by multiply the cash flow of the project study of the project to the PV factor. So the PV factor here is 1 over 1 plus interest power of the year. So we put it automatically. So we if the target of return is adjusted, so the PV factor is automatically adjust also. So for the NPV for project study, we get 494,98373.64 ringgit, and the NPV for Bakar Bali project is much lower, at 485,516.15 ringgit. I'm sorry because the number is too great. And the third question asks us to determine the present value payback period at which the discounted cash inflow fully recover the initial present value for each project based on the target of return. So payback period is where the in the basic in short, where the cash flow, where the cumulative PV is become positive, means they are able to pay back the loan, if I'm not mistaken. So again, the amount here are based on is automatically being coding based on the cumulative PV for project study column. As you can see here, at the year of 17th, it should be positive, and if you take a look, it's the truth. We at the year of 17th, the project Bakar Bali the 17th year is the year of payback period for project study. But what for project Bakar Bali is 14th, and as we can see here, it's also true. The cumulative PV is the payback period for Bakar Bali is at 14th year. So the last question, the management team intends to decide. The management teams intend to decide. To decide its final investment decision based on the internal rate of return, the net present value of the cash flow at the payback period. Based on my answer in 1, 2, and 3, which project should the corporation choose, and explain why. And my answer for question 4 is project Bakar Bali, because the IRR is greater than the IRR for project 3. Nevertheless, the payback period for Bakar Bali is much shorter than the payback period for project 3. And even though the NPV for Bakar Bali is a bit lower than NPV 3, but the data shows project Bakar Bali is much better for investment decisions. So that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.